When most people think of a Siberian Husky, they think of them in cold climates, usually attached to a dog sled, racing through a blizzard. With their extremely thick fur and hardworking attitudes, they're perfect for tundra-like conditions and Iditarod races. But what about those of us who don't live in the Great White North? Can we have these beautiful dogs too? Huskies are gorgeous puppers, so there are many people that want them that don't happen to live in places covered in 234 feet of snow at all times. But can these cold-loving dogs be happy in tropical weather? Watch this video until the end, to learn if Husky dogs can live in hot weather. Signs to look out for in your Husky. As previously stated, while Huskies can live in warmer climates and live a happy, healthy, and full life, owners still need to make sure that they do not overheat, something that would not be necessary in colder weather. For each of the things you need to look out for, dehydration, overheating, overexertion, there are specific signs and symptoms to watch for in your Husky. Dehydration. According to the American Kennel Club, the 7 most common signs of dehydration in dogs are loss of appetite, reduced energy levels, lethargy, panting, sunken or dry eyes, a dry nose and/or gums, and a loss of skin elasticity. Many of these symptoms also occur in dogs that are sick with something else, so the best way to test your dog for dehydration is the pinching test. This involves gently pinching your pup's skin between your fingers. In dehydrated dogs, the skin will take longer to fall back or return to normal, while in healthy dogs, this occurs rather quickly. Make sure to do it gently, though. Humans aren't too fond of getting pinched, and neither is your pooch. Another option is feeling your pup's nose or taking a look at their gums. A healthy Husky happens to have a moist mouth, while a dehydrated one has gums that can be dry and tacky. Outside of just visual cues, you can also feel your pup's gums. If they're dehydrated, the place you pressed on will remain white for a longer period of time than if they aren't dehydrated. Overheating, overexertion. The signs of overheating in your Husky are similar to that of dehydration, but with a few more symptoms. These can include heavy panting, rapid breathing, a higher than normal body temperature, an extremely thirsty pup, weakness or even collapsing, glazed eyes, an increased heartbeat and consequentially, an increased pulse, vomiting, bloody feces, seizures, bright tongue and/or gums, excessive drooling, stumbling, and unconsciousness. Basically, your dog is going to look and act extremely hot. This is especially prevalent in Huskies, since their fur and skin was built to retain heat. Often, overheating occurs much more quickly in these types of breeds than those with finer and/or less fur. The symptoms of both of these conditions often overlap. If your dog is dehydrated, it is likely due to overheating, and if your dog has overheated itself, it is often also dehydrated. Essentially, you just need to make sure your dog is acting normal. The science behind Huskies in hotter climates. Huskies are built to live in temperatures that drop as low as 75 degrees below zero. As a result, their coats are essentially winter coats, which allow them to survive in such low temperatures. They can pack bulk on rather quickly, so heat comes from their coat, as well as any body fat that they may have. Additionally, they don't just have one coat, but two. There is an underlayer of very short hair that sheds in the spring, which prevents them from overheating when the temperatures get warmer. During colder times, this underlayer acts as insulation to keep the pup's core body temperature warm and consistent. On top of the underlayer is an outer layer known as the guard hair coat, which prevents snow and ice from sticking to Huskies. Even their ears and tails are built for the cold. In regards to the ears, they basically have built-in earmuffs. Their ears are covered with hair all the way into the interior, creating a natural muff where the dog's ear ends. The tail is also covered in fur, and long enough so that they can protect their faces with them when they lie down to go to sleep in the cold. Basically, Huskies are characteristically suited to living in the cold. Despite the northern reaches being their more natural habitat, however, any loving dog owner can adopt a Husky in any climate, so long as they take care to make sure they stay healthy. Training a Husky to acclimatize to heat. Okay, it's true, you can't really train a Husky to get used to a warm climate. However, there are some things you definitely can do that will help your northern pooch better cope with the heat. First and foremost, always make sure your Husky, or any dog, really, has access to lots of fresh water all through the day. If there is always water around, your dog is much less likely to become dehydrated. This is even more important if your dog is outside for a lengthened period of time. And about that, on the super hot days, it may just be better to keep your Husky indoors with the AC blasting. If you must be outdoors, limit the amount of activity that your pooch does, and make sure they have a comfy spot in the shade to cool down in. On the hottest of summer days, your best bet may be to change your walk times to the early morning and evening. The temperature is generally cooler then, and the sun won't be beating down on your pupper. His paw pads are also less likely to be burned by piping hot pavement at these times, as well.